We're representing the Division of Research, Innovation, and Economic Development. Our goal today is to share with the community some of the great and important work that we have going on here at the university, and to give you an idea of how this work really translates into action in the community. And so I have with me today one of our outstanding grant writers, Dr. Bailey-Jefferson, who is in the Department of Human Sciences, and she's going to be talking with me about a very important project that she has. So Dr. Bailey-Jefferson, welcome. And we are looking forward to sharing with the community some of the great work that you are doing. So first I want to talk just a little bit about you. How long have you been at the university, and what do you do here? What's your job title? And I know you wear many hats.
I do wear many hats, and I've been at the university overall about 3 years.
Great.
One of my hats is the director of the Child Development Center. I'm also assistant professor in Human Sciences Department and executive director of Early Head Start projects.
Okay. Dr. Jefferson, you received a major grant, more than $1.5 million for 1 year. And if we are successful in this first year, we are likely to be funded for up to 4 additional years. So tell me about your project, who funded it, and what is the purpose of your project?
Our funder is the Administration for Children and Families out of the Office of Head Start. And just to talk briefly about the project, it covers several counties in the Delta, not only Jefferson County. It includes Drew County, Bradley County, as well as our furthest county is Chico, Eudora, parts of North Little Rock, and Arkadelphia.
That's a large area. Now, when you go into all of these counties, what is your purpose? Why are you there? What are you doing?
Well, our purpose in carrying out this project really is to serve families who are low income, not just low income, but those who are lower than low income. These are families who are desperate in need of child care.
Okay, and what age group are you focusing on? What children are you dealing with?
Our project is for children birth to 3 years of age.
And your purpose of focusing on them is to do what?
Well, again, this project is unprecedented because we have never had this type of quality child care for our youngest citizens. It's never happened before.
When I read this grant proposal, I was excited because it talked about pre-Head Start. I'd known a lot about Head Start, but this is pre-Head Start. This is getting the children ready for Head Start. But in addition, I was also impressed because it has a heavy focus on family. So tell me a little bit about how you all are working with families.
Well, as an early childhood professional, I know that the very first teacher of any child is their parent. So how is it that we can provide best care for children when we do not include the parent?
Okay.
And so, again, in our low-income families, oftentimes they are struggling for resources. So we have the parent engagement component where we bring support services to the families. For example, maybe they're a high school dropout. We will bring the resources to them to help support them as they are able to graduate high school and even enter into college.
Okay, so you're really focusing not only on the babies, but also on the parents.
Yes.
In other words, helping them to advance their education.
Yes.
And creating a better form of life for themselves and for their children. Tell me, this is a very interesting project. What motivated you to write this proposal?
Well, my motivation, it really stems from childhood. I grew up in a kind of interesting environment that was not child-friendly, so to speak. And so because of those early experiences, I know the impact that the environment around child can have long term. We know, looking at the Arkansas Department of Education, looking at the benchmark scores in the state of Arkansas for children 3rd grade, it determines what happens to them long term. Children who do not have adequate environments early on are likely not to graduate high school and more likely to end up in the prison system.
Okay. How many people are you able to employ on your grant? This is an impact. I mean, we are working for the babies, we're working with their parents, but we are also creating jobs for people. Tell me just briefly what your workforce looks like on this particular grant that you have been awarded.
Well, the monetary award is to cover 88 child care slots. And so therefore, we have to have teaching staff to accommodate those 88 children. Head Start has program performance standards that require the ratio to be 1 teacher to every 4 children.
Okay.
So therefore, the project employs 22 teachers. More than half of them are university graduates. Yes.
That's good, and I think that some of them graduated from the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. Am
Absolutely.
I correct? All right. Well, thank you so much, and we want to get more information on your project. Dr. Bailey-Jefferson, we were talking about the teachers that you have, shall we say, that are now a part of this project. Do you have other persons that are involved in terms of making sure that this is a comprehensive and well-rounded project?
That is exactly the right term, comprehensive. Yes, we have, based on Head Start program performance standards, we must have content area specialists that include, for example, positions like nutritionist. We have the early Head Start director. A key component is the facilities coordinator, the person who monitors facilities and ensure that health and safety is intact. The university employs 9 content area specialist.
Very good. As we think about the impact of this project, not just for UAPB, and when I talk about the impact, it impacts us in terms of accreditation. We have to show that we in fact have a very robust research agenda at our university. It helps us in terms of students who might be interested, especially in majoring in the human sciences and early childhood education. But it also helps us in terms of the community by giving the community additional resources for evidence-based child care. So when you think about the impact of what you've done, and I need to say that you've done that while you had other full-time responsibilities. To do research and to write grants really require that the person is willing to go beyond the 8 to 5 workday. To get it done, you have to really give up a lot of your quote personal time. So let's talk about what it was like for you to write this major grant, because this can be encouraging to others who really have innovative ideas and they know things that can really help to improve our society, but they feel that there aren't enough hours in the day to get it done. So let's talk about how you got this done, because this was a massive effort, but well rewarded.
It takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness. And I must say, I had a wonderful support team, and you, Dr. Benjamin, and the other staff at ORSP, the research staff that work with you. We spent many long nights until 8 and 9 and 10 o'clock, particularly in the final phases of that writing. But my home life, as you know, I was a newly engaged woman after being single for 27 years. And so it takes some communication, it takes some just a partnership at home and at work. Not only at home did my partner have understanding. Well, fortunately at that time he and I both had separate homes, but it seemed as if I was missing in action often, but he understood the importance of the work that I was engaged in, and also others in the department understood, and they were very supportive. I was fortunate in that I was able to manage my teaching load, and I believe in growing leaders. And so although I am the administrator at the Child Development Center, I had key individuals that were able to help me carry the load.
So it was really a team effort.
Yes.
In other words, you had support at home, you had support in your academic department, you also had support from the Division of Research, Innovation, and Economic Development.
Yes.
So when you put it all together, we resulted in a project that's not only good for the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, it's good for Health and Human Services, but most importantly, it's good for the youngest generation in our society. So Dr. Bailey-Jefferson, you've been so successful on this project. Have you had any spin-off opportunities, funding opportunities, based on the fact that you have this particular $1.5 million grant?
Well, the one thing that I'm pretty anxious about starting is community gardens, partnering with other professors and grant writers in Ag Fisheries Department. I think something that is going to come out of this is what we're referring to as translational research, where we will be able to measure the success of the project, really looking at health outcomes, how it impacts the health and well-being of the families, how it impacts their ability to move from poverty to self-sufficiency. So
that's really an outstanding path that you intend to follow through on. So I just want to thank you for all you're doing here at the university, and in case there's someone in the audience that would like more information from you, or maybe would like for you to come out and talk to a civic or a social club or something, how can they contact you?
I can be reached, of course, in my home office in the Human Sciences Building, Child Development Center, area code 870-575-8809. So
thank you so much for coming and sharing, and for helping the larger community to understand the exact role of the Division of Research, Innovation, and Economic Development here at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff.